Hey everybody, welcome back to the Jersey Zone. So today I'm going to be reacting to fans' rankings of the NHL home jerseys. Recently, JFresh put out a survey on Twitter letting fans rate every single home jersey on a scale of 1 to 10. He took all of those results and now we have a ranking from 32 to 1. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do my reaction to that. I'm pretty sure JFresh does the survey every single year and he does a couple of other ones as well. But of course, if you guys don't know JFresh, his main thing is hockey analytics. So if you guys, like hockey stuff, make sure to follow him. I'll leave a link to his Twitter in the description down below. And before we do jump into it here, if you're new to the channel and you like hockey jersey content, please make sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. All right, let's get into the rankings. Okay, so we're into the rankings here, and at number 32, we have the Washington Capitals with a 3.7 out of 10, so not a very good score there, but honestly, it's very understandable. This jersey is not that great. I really do want them to change it. I don't think that they will until Ovi retires. I think they're going to keep it around until he's gone, which is very, very unfortunate because they're not very good. It's just not a great jersey. I don't mind the little stripe underneath the kind of, piping there. I think that is sort of cool, but it's been around for so long. Like, it's been around, since the Reebok Edge era. So it's time. It's time for them to get rid of it, and it's just not that great. Let's move on to number 31, and it's a new team here, the Utah Hockey Club, with a 4.1 out of 10. This is another one where I do agree with the fans. Maybe it's a little bit too harsh putting them at 31, because it's not like they're terrible jerseys. They're just very, very boring, very plain. The Utah on the front is just so generic, and I don't like that at all. The rest of the jersey is fine. I like the colors with the powdered blue. I do wish that was the main color of the jersey instead of it being black, but even just as the striping, it's fine. I like the double inaugural season patch, though. I will say that is very, very interesting to have it on both shoulders, but yeah, I would probably have them fairly down low as well. Now we can move on to number 30, and we have the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is another one where, yep, it's time for Columbus to change their jerseys. I really, really do not like these. Their away jersey is a little bit better just because there is that contrast there with the shoulders, and then the rest of the jersey, the home here doesn't really quite have that, so it does come off feeling really, really plain, really boring, and yeah, it's just not too great for me. I don't hate Columbus's logo, but I do much prefer either the Cannon logo or their inaugural season logo. Those are the ones that I prefer, so yeah, I'm not a fan of their home design. On to number 29, we have the Carolina Hurricanes. Wow, 4.6 out of 10. Yeah, I know a lot of people, I guess, I think it was here or around here last year as well, and I was pretty surprised about that. I don't think they were quite at 29th, but I don't think they were much higher than like 25th or something like that, which did very much surprise me. At least personally, I do really like these jerseys a lot, but, the all-black look has never really caught. Oh, okay. So they did finish 29th for the third consecutive season. So, I guess they did finish 29th last year as well. But at least for me, I would definitely rate these jerseys a lot higher than that. I like them. I get people's complaints with it being all black and, the gray shoulders there with the grayed out logos on it, like the Carolina Hurricanes logo and then the North Carolina state flag. You can barely even tell they're a thing if you don't actually see the jersey in person. It does have some nice kind of little detail inside of the red stripes there, which is another thing that you can't really see until you see it in person, or at least close-up pictures of the jersey. So for myself, I like those aspects of the jersey, but I don't think most people really know about them or even care, just because you can't really see them on TV. The logo itself is very big. I get that. It is a super big logo, but of course it does make sense. It is the hurricane warning flag. It is the proper flag. So I get why people don't really like it, but I definitely would not have it this far down at 29th. I think 29th is being really, really harsh on these jerseys here. Moving on to number 28th, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm just going to go right there so I don't spoil myself for the other ones, because I've kind of been able to see what the next one is, so we're just going to keep it right there. So the Tampa Bay Lightning at 28th. Once again, it's another one where I think people are being a little bit harsh on the Lightning's jerseys. I don't love the Lightning's jerseys. I would like for them to change it, but they're fine looking jerseys. I would probably put them, mid-tier, mid-pack. It's okay. Yes, they do kind of copy the Leafs and the Red Wings at the same time. It's the Leafs colors with the Red Wings design, but it still looks okay. Like, it still looks pretty good. The Lightning logo looks good as well. I think this is being very, very harsh. At number 27, we have the Nashville Predators. This one, I wouldn't say is being very harsh. Yeah, I don't like these Nashville jerseys. I really, really would like for them to change it. I just don't like the full gold. It's too much. It really, really is. I would love for them to implement a little bit more navy, maybe some silver back again, like they used to have back in the day. But I just don't like this amount of gold, this amount of yellow. It's just way, way too much for me. On to number 26. Wow, we have the Vegas Golden Knights. So I think these were pretty down low last year as well. I don't think a lot of people liked these jerseys last year, and I am on the complete opposite end of that spectrum. I love these Vegas Golden Knights jerseys. I think they're so awesome. They're so much fun. Obviously, I'm wearing it right now, and this is kind of the main reason, like this outfit is the main reason why I love it so much, is because I love wearing my gold hat with my gold jersey. I just look ridiculous, and it's awesome. It's great. But realistically, like, I understand people not really loving these jerseys on TV. They kind of look more like a butterscotch than a shiny gold, which I see where Jay Fresh is coming from. They don't look as good on TV as they do in person. I will admit that for sure, but I think in person, it's just so much fun. They're so awesome. They're so great. They're so Vegas. And I think Vegas is really the only team that could get away with having a full gold jersey. So I think it's perfect for them. I really do love these jerseys for Vegas. I would not even close to have it to 26. It is definitely not even close to being there for me. But let's move on to number 25 here. And at number 25, we have the Dallas Stars. The Stars home jersey for me is just so fine. I don't really have a ton of opinions on it. Honestly, I think they're just okay. They're not too bad. The victory green is kind of cool, but it's just doesn't really do a whole lot for me, but I don't think it's a bad looking jersey either. Okay, on to number 24, we have the Florida Panthers. Really, wow. So the Panthers military-inspired getup didn't get a Stanley Cup bump, which is surprising. I feel like most teams usually do, especially at least in the fan base. I know that some fans of Vegas didn't really love this jersey here, but once they won a Stanley Cup in it, they were like, they kind of came around to it a little bit, finishing almost exactly where it did the last 2 years. I didn't remember the Panthers jerseys being this far down last year. I thought they were a little bit higher than that. I know a lot of people just aren't really a huge fan of this logo. They want the old logo back. So I can kind of see why a lot of fans kind of rate this jersey a little bit lower, especially if you're not a fan of the Panthers. I mean, also some people will rate jerseys lower just because they're not a fan of the team. And with the Panthers play style, I get that. I'm not really a massive fan of the Florida Panthers, at least currently. But I still like their jerseys a decent amount. This is definitely lower than at least I would have it. Next up is number 23, and it's the New York Islanders. So yeah, this one is probably exactly where it should be in my mind. The Islanders jerseys are, I just kind of find them a little bit boring, and yeah, it seems like they kind of drop a bit every single year, which is kind of understandable. I think they're fine. They're all right. They're nothing too crazy. On to number 22 is the Winnipeg Jets. This one is higher than I expected, honestly. I know a lot of people want the Jets to change their jerseys, especially with people wanting them to go back to their 90s look, because they've already done that a couple of times with their third jersey, as well as like their Heritage Classic jerseys. So yeah, I'm surprised that this one is at 22. I think I would have this one a little bit lower. This is another one like the Columbus Blue Jackets where I'm not really a huge fan of the home. I like the away a lot more. Then we can go on to number 21, and it's the St. Louis Blues. Really? Wow, 5.8 out of 10. Every year the Blues fall down a bit further on this list. I didn't read that right, but it's okay. And now are out of the top 20 for the first time. That's really, really surprising to me. I like this Blues jersey quite a bit. Like, I really think it is a very nice looking Blues jersey. The only downside to me, at least with this jersey, is it does feel a little bit old at this point. They have had it for quite a while. I mean, it was a little bit different in the Reebok eras because they had the piping, and I don't think they had the striping at the bottom, but it was very, very similar to those Reebok jerseys. So I am surprised it's this far down. I really do like these Blues jerseys a lot. I think they're very classic without, being super old school at the same time. They're not like, a couple of original six teams that have kept the exact same jersey for their entire time. They are a little bit different. Obviously, they're not an original six team, but still, they've been around since 1967. So I feel like they do have that classic feeling without being, the exact jersey that they had when they came into the league. So I like these jerseys quite a bit. I'm surprised that they're this far down. On to number 20 here, we have the Philadelphia Flyers. Wow, really? This is another one very, very surprised about. The Flyers shift to a darker orange might have made some sense, but questionable execution puts it in the same spot as the old look. Yeah, no, this is another one I disagree with because, yeah, I get, it being maybe a little bit strange that there is not any, like, black striping in between the white and the orange like it used to have back in the day. I know a lot of people really wanted that. these are way, way better than their old jerseys, like miles better. The customization on the arm, it just being a solid color, is a little bit strange as well. I'll give them that, but I don't know. For me, this is not where these should be. These are definitely a much improved jersey, and they should not be in the same spot as their old jersey. It's not even, it's like night and day for me. I like these so much more, especially with the arm numbers there, where the arm numbers, you know, they used to bleed into the orange, and I hated that. I thought that looked so terrible. So they fixed that with these jerseys here. I think the darker orange looks a lot better as well. Very, very surprised it's at number 20. Number 19, though, we have the Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks franchise long identity crisis gives them one of the most diverse brands in hockey. Will they risk the allure of the 90s nostalgia? I think they probably will. I mean, obviously, they are bringing back the skate jersey as a third jersey still. They're still going to have that in their repertoire. But yeah, I think them being at number 19 here is a fine place for them. With the Canucks, I do like the fact that they are very diverse in their branding. I think that is awesome. I think it's super cool to just see a ton of colors at the Canucks game, but I know people kind of see that a lot differently than I do. I like how cool that is. I like how different it is, but some people, they kind of like to have, you know, one kind of brand set in stone, one color scheme and everything like that. Me, not really quite so much. So I would be fine if the Canucks did go back to using the skate as a full-time jersey, or just completely changing the brand again. I would actually definitely be on board. In saying that, though, I still like these jerseys a decent amount. Number 19, I think, is probably a pretty good spot for them, though. On to number 18 is the Ottawa Senators. Okay, interesting. So the Sens got a lot of praise for returning to their 1990s look, but for the second straight year, they're falling down the list. Has the shine worn off for the black and red? Yeah, like, honestly, this is also probably where I would have, I think, the Ottawa Senators. I think these jerseys, you know, they're not bad. They're pretty nice. Definitely a lot better than the 3D logo and those jerseys. I was not really a huge fan of those jerseys, so this is a massive improvement for me, but yeah, I think probably 18 is a good spot for them. On to number 17 is New Jersey Devils. For the Devils, honestly, yeah, I've never really been a massive fan of Devils jerseys. I don't know what it is. I like their old school jerseys where they had green in it. I really do like that. So with their black here, the black jerseys, I mean, they've had them for a long time, right? And these ones in particular, they've had it basically since the Adidas era, once it kind of came in. Ever since they got rid of that green and they've had the black instead, I've just never been a massive fan of it, honestly. And these ones here are probably the worst version of those jerseys as well, because they don't have that torso stripe. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the Devils jerseys. I love their logo. Their logo is really, really nice, and it definitely carries their jerseys in my opinion. This is higher than I would have these jerseys, but I don't think I would have these jerseys super down low either, just because of the logo itself. I absolutely love that thing, but yeah, it's these ones here for me. Yeah, they're not really all too great, at least in my opinion. Number 16, wow, the Wild, really? A spot right in the middle of the list. Seems a bit on the nose for the Wild, yeah, but amid rumors of an eventual switch to green and gold, it's worth remembering that these still rate better than half of the league. Now, of course, those rumors of them switching to the Minnesota Wild colors, or the Minnesota North Star colors, apologies, those were kind of shoved off, and it does not look like that is going to happen, so it looks like they are going to be sticking with these, which I'm really happy about, because I love these jerseys. I am shocked that this is at number 16, because at least in my opinion, this is one of the best home jerseys in the league, like probably top 3. I absolutely love this thing. I love the green there. I think that's great. Just the stripe in the middle with that kind of beige. I think that is awesome. The logo, also one of the best logos in the league. It is fantastic. Really, the only thing that I don't like about this jersey is the fact that the torso stripe doesn't go all the way around the back. I like when teams do that, so the fact that the Wild don't, it's a little bit unfortunate, but that is so minimal to me. I just really, really do love these jerseys. Number 16, I think, is criminal. It should not be down this low. It should not be middle of the road. It's the only thing that's not middle of the road for the Wild, in my opinion. I think these are absolutely fantastic jerseys. Now, on to number 15 is the Colorado Avalanche. Another one, I'm surprised it's this far down low. A bit of a dip for the Avs, but the modernized update of their classic uniforms remains popular. Yeah, this one, I would definitely, at least I think I would have this one higher. I am, of course, going to be doing my own ranking pretty soon here. Probably within the next couple of days, I'll do my own ranking. But yeah, I love these Avalanche jerseys. I think they're fantastic. They're very, very nice. Surprised they're at number 15. Number 14 here, we have the San Jose Sharks. Okay, this is one where initially I feel like it is kind of too low at number 14, but the more that I think about it, the more that maybe it is the right spot, especially if it is the full uniform, and technically this is, you know, a uniform ranking. the full uniform, it's too much teal, man. Like, with the helmet, the jerseys, the glove, the pants, the socks, it's way too much teal. They should break it up just a little bit, maybe have some black pants or something like that. Just one piece of equipment does need to be a different color than teal, because otherwise it's too much, in my opinion. I like the jersey itself. The jersey is really nice. I like the wave pattern in the striping there, and you know, just the jersey on its own, even though it still is a lot of teal, I think it works a little bit better. It gets away with having that much teal when it's just on its own, but altogether, it's a bit too much. Next up, we have number 13, and it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is actually higher than I think I would have the Leafs jerseys. I am not the biggest fan of the Leafs jerseys at the moment. I like their logo. Their logo is nice. I'll give them that. But that's all they really have going for it. You know, for me, I would probably have this close to the Tampa Bay Lightning jerseys. I really would. I don't get this huge gap in between the Lightning jerseys and these Leafs jerseys here because, you know, people say they're very similar, and they are, so why is there a massive gap? I don't really understand. I think this one definitely kind of gets a little bit of that original 6 boost. We can see that the Leafs sweaters rank last out of the original 6, meaning that probably most of the top 10 here are going to be original 6 sweaters, and we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, it's to me, at least, I would not have the Leafs at number 13, even though they're my favorite team. I think their jerseys are just okay. Moving along, though, we can go to number 12 here, and we have the Los Angeles Kings. So they leapt from 26th to 12th with their new jerseys here. That makes sense. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. It is pretty funny how much just the logo change improved the look for the Kings here, because that's basically all this is, right? Like, the jersey itself is basically the exact same without the shoulder piping there. They removed the piping. Otherwise, it is the same jersey with just a new logo, but it is a much better logo, I will say that. I still would have preferred another logo for the Kings. I don't love the chevron logo. Honestly, I'm not a massive fan of it, and it's updated a little bit, which I think looks pretty good on the jersey itself. I don't like the 2D version of the logo. Like, if you're just looking at it on a picture, I think the old chevron logo is a lot better than this new one, but on the jersey itself, I do like this new one a lot more because it has that sparkle to it. It looks really nice with close-up pictures and everything like that, and there is a lot of sparkle throughout this jersey as well, so I like that. I think number 12 is pretty appropriate for them. On to number 11, we have the Chicago Blackhawks. Okay, always the most controversial sweater on the list thanks to the logo. Yeah, the Hawks received the second most 32nd place votes and the second most first place votes. The Hawks jerseys to me is just so funny because I really don't understand why people love this jersey so much, why they think it's the best jersey in the league, or some people even say it's the best jersey in sports. I don't see it. I think it's okay. It's just a fine looking jersey, you know, even with the logo there. You know, I'm not going to say whether they should change it or not because that's a different video. You know, it's its own separate topic there. The one thing that I will say about the logo is that it's made very nicely. The chain stitching definitely helps it kind of boost up the rankings a little bit, but that is the only part of the jersey that I like, is just how the logo is made. That's it. The rest of the jersey there, it's, you know, so simple to me. It's so basic. I just don't get why people love this thing so much. It is just a fine looking jersey. I definitely would not have it at 32nd. I definitely would not have it at first. It would probably come somewhere in the middle for myself. Let's move along though. We're into the top 10 now, and at number 10 we have the Seattle Kraken. Okay, so after its 3rd straight top 5 finish last year, seems safe to say that these were a solid Modern Classic, but after a 5-spot slip this year, makes me wonder whether the novelty has worn off a bit. Wow, so they slipped 5 spots. That is surprising to me because, yeah, at least in my opinion, these are still up there in my top 5 favorite home jerseys in the league right now. At least I think they probably would be in the top 5. They are super solid in my opinion. I absolutely love the Kraken jerseys. I think they knocked it out of the park. I'm not that upset that it's at number 10 though. I think number 10 is a fine spot for it. It's maybe more so just surprising that it slipped 5 spots. That is the shocking thing for me, but number 10, pretty decent spot for it. Let's go on to number 9, and this is probably going to be our biggest jump here. Yeah, after 3 straight years in the 32nd spot, the Ducks' mighty rebrand launches them into this top 10. Yeah, first of all, 6.9 out of 10, nice. But yeah, I really do love these Ducks jerseys, and honestly, number 9 might even still be a little bit too low. I think these are absolutely fantastic. The one knock to them, I definitely would say, with the uniform aspect, is that the head-to-toe orange is a bit much. I would agree there. You know, it's kind of like the San Jose Sharks where the all teal, the all orange here, it's just too much. You should change it up just a little bit. I think if you went with black pants for this setup, it would be absolutely perfect. It would be so phenomenal. They definitely can keep the orange pants with the away jersey. I think that is fine. That's not a big deal. But here specifically with the orange jerseys, yeah, it's too much orange. You definitely needed to break it up just a little bit, but it's still absolutely phenomenal. I definitely would agree that these should be in the top 10, and honestly, they might even be a little bit higher, at least for myself. Next up at number 8 here, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins, also a 6.9 out of 10. Very, very nice. But yeah, these Pens jerseys are really nice. They're definitely what they should be wearing. I think they are awesome. I love the fact that they kind of have a little bit of a stripe there that holds the numbers. I think that is great. Honestly, not a very good picture of these Pens jerseys here, but yeah, I think number 8 is a pretty fitting spot for them. Number 7 is the Oilers, also a 6.9 out of 10. So a lot of 6.9s. Yeah, this is another one here where I think this one is maybe a little bit high for me. I do like these Oilers jerseys. I think they are quite nice, but for me, being at number 7, I think I need to really like the jersey, and I don't quite get there with these ones here. I think they're good jerseys, though. I definitely would say that. Yeah, it's not like there's anything wrong with this jersey, but just not quite a number 7 jersey, at least for myself. Moving on to number 6 is the New York Rangers, so I feel like this is where we're going to start getting into a lot of the original 6 teams, and this is where I'll say I think a lot of the original 6 teams need to change their jerseys. I'm just so bored with them at this point. A lot of people will say they're classic jerseys. You can't change them. That's not the way that I see it. I find that they're just simple jerseys that they've had for so long, and that they're boring at this point. There's nothing special to it. I don't really get any emotion out of those jerseys. And with these ones here, these Rangers jerseys, I really don't like these Rangers jerseys. Well, maybe I shouldn't say I really don't like them, but I just am not a fan of them. I mean, I'm never really a fan of word marks anyways, but I would much prefer an actual logo on the front of their jerseys, you know, like that Ranger Shield logo like they have on their third. That on the front of this jersey, I would like a little bit better, but I would also like to change the striping up a little bit as well. I know people really don't like change, especially when it comes to the original 6 teams jerseys, but for myself personally, I feel like basically all of them should change their jerseys. I like when teams change their jerseys fairly frequently. Like, I think every team should change their jersey probably like every 10 to 15 years, something like that. It doesn't need to be a massive change. It doesn't need to be a brand new logo or anything like that, but just a little bit of changes here and there. I think it keeps the jerseys feeling fresh and new, and it gets me wanting to collect more jerseys, and obviously the owners would really like that. So, you know, at least I think it is a lot more fun when teams do change their jerseys, even if it's just a little bit. So I'm not on the side of the original 6 teams jerseys and them staying the exact same. I would like something new. I'm assuming number 5, yeah, it's the Detroit Red Wings. Once again, they're a team that's had this jersey for a very long time. I would not have it at number 5. The logo is nice, but it's, once again, kind of like Tampa and the Leafs. Those jerseys, they all compare to each other. Everyone always compares the Lightning's, the Leafs, and the Red Wings jerseys, so I really don't understand why they're so far apart in these rankings. I think they should be a lot closer, and yeah, I would not have the Red Wings at number 5, that is for sure. At number 4, though, we have the Boston Bruins. So, of course, with Boston, technically, they did change their jerseys last year. They went to the Centennial jerseys for just that one season. Now they're coming back to these jerseys right here, which are very nice jerseys, I will admit. I do probably like these jerseys the most out of all the original 6 teams, and I would probably say I'm the most lenient towards them with them keeping these jerseys. I'm fine with it. However, I did really like those Centennial jerseys. I thought they were fantastic. Really, really awesome. I hope that they do keep the alt in some form, in some way. They technically have like a 100th game classic coming up this year, something like that. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's against the Montreal Canadiens, I think sometime in December, and there's hints that they might bring back that alternate jersey from last year for that game. It's possible, and I hope that's the case, because I love that alternate jersey so much. But with this home jersey here, it is a nice home jersey. I don't know if I would quite have it at number 4, but it should rank pretty high. I do like this Boston jersey quite a bit, and like I said, I kind of give it a little bit more leeway as opposed to all the other original 6 jerseys, because at least with Boston, they haven't had it for that long. Now on to number 3 here, we have the Buffalo Sabres. So I think the Sabres were first last year. Yeah, they dropped from 1 to number 3. So yeah, they fell back a little bit, I guess, in these rankings here, but they're still awesome looking jerseys, absolutely fantastic. The logo's so nice, the striping is great. These definitely should be in the top 3, or at least, you know, in the top 5. These are very sharp jerseys for the Sabres, definitely deserve to be up here amongst the best. And at the number 2 spot, we have the Calgary Flames. Also a team that, you know, kind of like the Buffalo Sabres, they did go back to kind of their inaugural season look, but it works because they are so nice. They look so great. And also with the Flames, I do like the added prime green detail inside of the logo. That is awesome. Really nice. Yeah, both of these jerseys here, absolutely fantastic. So of course that does mean at number 1, we have the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, no, I highly disagree with this one here. I know people love the Canadiens jerseys. I so disagree. These are so just fine to me. They're not bad looking. Like, you know, I talked about wanting the original 6 teams to change their jerseys. I wouldn't say any of those jerseys are that bad. It's just, I'm so bored with them at this point. You know, they've had these jerseys basically for 107 years. They basically had these jerseys since the NHL started up, since they became an actual league. Obviously, the logo has changed very slightly, and they have made some changes to it, but it's been relatively the exact same for the Montreal Canadiens. I would not have it at number 1. Yeah, you might call it classic, but to me, it's just boring at this point. It is worn out. It's washed out, or whatever you want to say. Yeah, I don't love the Canadiens jerseys. They're fine. They're fine looking jerseys. You know, I'm not saying that they're bad looking jerseys. I just want them to change. I like change with my jerseys, so the fact that the Canadiens are top of the list here, I so disagree. Highly disagree, and I disagree with a lot of the top 10 here because a lot of it, you know, of course, is the original 6. Well, maybe not that much of the top 10 is the original 6. I guess it's basically, you know, 6, the top 6 is a lot of the original 6. But yeah, for the most part, honestly, I don't really think I agreed with a lot of this list here. I feel like, you know, my opinions differed quite a bit. There were a couple of teams here and there where, you know, I'll probably say that I agree with a lot of the fan bases, but for the most part, I do think that my opinions are pretty different than most on this list. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video here. I will be doing my own ranking video with the home jerseys pretty soon here, probably within the next couple of days, so keep an eye out for that. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys like the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on all my social medias, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.